chasing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
You can go ahead and call me Theme Park Predictions from now on, because I called this one. Last year I made a video talking about Six Flags Great America's next major ride edition, which was pretty much just 10 minutes of me begging the park to add a Zamperla Giga Discovery. Well, in 2024, Great America is doing just that with the addition of Sky Striker. But beyond this new attraction, there's a lot going on at Six Flags Great America, including 3 potential ride closures next year, as well as a very interesting rumor I've heard about one of the park's major roller coasters. So let's touch base on all that, starting with my brief thoughts on the park's new for 2024 ride, Sky Striker. Let me go ahead and give my props to the park because they completely nailed this one. I know I've been hard on my home park in the past, but they truly did an excellent job with Sky Striker for a number of reasons. First of all, this is a Zamperla Giga Discovery, a 172-foot tall spinning pendulum ride, which is the thrilling high-capacity flat ride the park desperately needed. Second, they gave it an original name that actually fits in with the area, instead of just picking a random DC superhero out of a hat, and thank God for that. Third, they put it in probably the best possible spot, one that I hadn't even thought of, replacing Daredevil Dive, the sky coaster. Daredevil Dive has been an eyesore for years, blocking the view of the prettiest ride in the park. This is also one of the most rundown areas of the park, with overgrown trees and leftover track from Great American Raceway, which was removed all the way back in 2010. So I am thrilled to see this part of the park get some attention. Daredevil Dive's tower has already been removed, and it's sitting in a lawn near the south entrance of the park. And the area already looks a million times better with it gone. Now, this is wishful thinking, but it would be nice for them to take this opportunity to bulldoze and rebuild the entire area, including repathing American Eagle's obnoxious queue, and maybe even bringing back its incredible old entrance. I mean, even the Kidsopolis section back there has turned into such an eyesore. It would be nice to start fresh and just breathe some life into that back area of the park. But from the looks of it, they're probably just gonna reuse Daredevil Dive's old entrance for Sky Striker, which I guess is fine. But overall, Sky Striker is a major win in my book, and it is going to look so good swinging up by American Eagle and X-Flight. Let's move on and talk about the other 2 attractions that also may be on the way out. During Fright Fest, they turned the Buccaneer Battle area into Six Saints Cemetery, which is basically a tribute graveyard for the park's defunct attractions. In the last week, 3 new gravestones have popped up. One for Daredevil Dive, which we already knew was being removed, and next to it is another headstone with the opening dates of 2004 and 2018, hinting at 2 other ride removals on the horizon. The 2018 attraction is a pretty easy one to identify since there was only one ride that opened that year, Mardi Gras Hangover. This is a Larson Loop, basically a glorified carnival ride, and it's had quite a bit of downtime over the years. This ride was a byproduct of Six Flags Days as the discount chain, and they've already begun yanking these out at some of their other parks. It was a dumb addition to begin with, and it will not be missed by many, certainly not me. The 2004 on the gravestone could be one of 2 rides. Right next door to Hangover is Big Easy Balloons, which debuted with the new Mardi Gras section of the park in 2004. The Mardi Gras area has seen much better days and is a bit of a dead spot in the park. And with it being sandwiched right in between DC Universe and the 2 other DC superhero themed roller coasters, Superman and Dark Knight, I could definitely see the park just extending the DC Universe section all the way out towards Superman. But I think the ride on the headstone is much more likely to be the other attraction that opened in 2004, Revolution. With Sky Striker opening next season, there's really no need for an outdated Frisbee attraction right next door, so retiring Revolution makes a lot of sense. Plus, Revolution currently clogs up the midway a ton, so opening that plot of land for another ride down the line, or even just replacing it with some landscaping or a seating area, would make that back section of County Fair look a lot nicer for when Sky Striker opens in 2024. While these gravestones don't technically have an end date, my best guess is that these 2 attractions will be removed this off-season. And as you can start to see, there's quite a few spaces around the park that Six Flags Great America is going to have to address in the coming years. So finally, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the future of Demon. Demon is Six Flags Great America's Aero Looping Coaster, which opened with the park in 1976 as Turn of the Century and was converted to Demon again in 1980. Over the course of this season, I've heard more than a few whispers that Demon's 47-year run may be coming to an end, and possibly sooner than you think. Now keep in mind, at the end of the day, this is a rumor, but like I said, this is something that I've been hearing from multiple places. Demon was scheduled to operate on weekends only during the 2023 season, but sometime in mid-June, it stopped operating completely, and to my knowledge, it has not opened since. Now this could very well just be due to the staffing issues the park has struggled with all season, but I've also heard that the ride's lift motor could be broken again, which would be especially concerning considering it was replaced just a few years ago. Regardless of the specifics, let's just look at the facts. Demon's ride manufacturer Arrow has been out of business for 2 decades now, making it extremely difficult and expensive to replace parts, and therefore significantly raising the ride's operating costs. Six Flags CEO Salim Basool made it very clear in a recent earnings call that Six Flags will not hesitate to retire high-maintenance rides and replace them with new state-of-the-art attractions. And Salim has stuck to his word on that so far. He just retired Alpine Bobsled at Six Flags Great Escape, which actually formerly operated at Great America, but this coaster was a known mechanical nightmare, and they're replacing it with the new Bobcat wooden coaster. Demon has a similar reputation of being a mechanical and more specifically an electrical nightmare, and from what I've heard, Demon is on that list of rides across the chain that Salim has ordered to close in order to save on operating costs. However, Demon's history as an opening day attraction at the park makes things a little bit more complicated. Obviously, there's pushback from park management to retire such an iconic attraction with no public notice or tribute. So for now, Demon's future remains in limbo. It's very unlikely to operate the last couple weekends of this season, and the possibility remains that it may never open again. Six Flags Great America could be keeping a close eye on Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which recently announced a major restoration to their Arrow looping coaster Loch Ness Monster, which opened 2 years after Demon in 1978. In 2018, Loch Ness Monster received new trains from S&S and will get several hundred feet of new track as part of its restoration this off-season. We have seen Great America put some restorative effort into Demon the last several years, refurbishing its trains, bringing back its original station music, and even adding smoke effects by its corkscrews. So it's definitely not out of the equation that a beloved attraction like Demon could potentially get the same kind of treatment and investment, especially if Loch Ness Monster's restoration is successful. However, it's hard to ignore that Demon is not in the best shape, and it's far from being one of the most popular rides in the park. Plus, a complete removal of Demon would free up a lot of prime real estate within the park for a substantial state-of-the-art roller coaster investment. 2024 will mark 5 years since Great America's last new roller coaster, which, believe it or not, is the longest coaster drought in the park's history. Now, I don't want to steer this video towards an in-depth discussion about what Great America's next coaster will be, because we'll have plenty of time for speculation over the next year or two. But let's just talk about some of the possibilities with this new development. Previously, the 2 most prominent plots of land available for a new roller coaster were Buccaneer Battle, which has been standing but not operating for 2 years now, and the Winter Circle go-karts, conveniently located right next to each other. Now, if you zoom out and bring Demon's plot of land into the equation, you have the space for a very large roller coaster. Now, there's a few things to keep in mind with that. First, the park's 50th anniversary is coming up in 2026, which will almost certainly involve it getting a large investment of some kind. Second, with 2 more plots of land set to open next season with the pending removals of Revolution and Mardi Gras Hangover, there are going to be a lot of open spaces in the park. I think we could see Great America address one of those smaller plots with another major flat ride in 2025 before the next major coaster edition. Personally, I think a 300-foot Skyscreamer would be a great fit in Revolution spot. Or maybe 2025 is when they take the time to reimagine the Mardi Gras section of the park and fill the Hangover spot. In that scenario, you could use the 2024 season to give Demon a proper send-off. Then the park could spend the 2025 season getting a head start on land clearing and preparation before opening a large roller coaster in 2026 for the park's 50th anniversary. And to me, that would be the most preferable way to go about it. The roller coasters at Six Flags Great America are notorious for being good, but not great. Goliath and Max Force are both top-tier ride models, but aren't considered elite rides because they're just not long or good enough. And in a completely landlocked park like Great America, it's not often that a plot of land this significant becomes available. So I would really hope that the Six Flags chain doesn't rush the park into something subpar, and instead takes its time for a substantial investment of a truly world-class roller coaster. As I said, for now this is all speculation and rumors, but there's some smoke to this demon situation, and it's something I'd keep a close eye on in the coming months.